make our shots. We all do. That's what we do. That's what we do. And we keep doing it.
And I really appreciate you joining this conversation, because when we first met up and we were like talking, you know, on road, as it were, on Brick Lane, and the conversation was, you know, literally buck up upon each other upon the road, and an hour later we're still there discussing everything from film to cameras, from cameras to body paint, from body paint to Afro Nation, from Afro Nation back to house, from house to DJing. So and that was a beautiful thing, because both of us are engaged in music, engaged in photography, and engaged in this idea of documenting our lives and our world. And what I wanted to know from yourself is, when did it start?
So firstly, congratulations on the book, my friend. I know these things are really difficult to achieve. So
Thank you.
Take that moment. So the story goes, actually funny. I don't know if it's a funny story. It's a story. I used to be a bartender in Scala in King's Cross, and being the obnoxious child I've always been, you know, I told the manager that he was an a-hole, and he says, "You're right, I am an a-hole, but you're not allowed to tell me that." And he bussed me down to Barback, and I found a Rebel G in a blue Eastpak bag. Was it green? Can't remember. With 2 rolls of film. And the rest, my friend, is kind of history. Here's a funny thing about photography for me. Afterwards, I have found things that I have been just so instantly in line with. But photography was the first thing that I found that I was like, oh my God, I can do this. I don't have to study this. I just understood it out the gate. Obviously, I've improved technicalities and so on and so forth. But that push a button, catch a moment, yeah, I had that from the start.
Amazing. And can you, at this point in your life, see a continuum, see this dot from the first photograph that you remember taking to where you are this week? Can you see a line? Thematic.
I wouldn't even call it a line. If it's a line, you know what it's like? I would say it's like the grooves of a vinyl, only maybe in reverse. So, you know, the vinyl slides in, these seem to like spiral out. It's a Fibonacci sequence in whatever way you split it. As I might have mentioned to you before, I teach a lot more. I've got people who are doing well, who have assisted me, and I'm like, wow, and to watch their progress. And then this idea that you can teach people the technicalities of anything. This is program on the Canon, this is TV on the Canon, this is manual setting on the Canon, that's where the aperture is, that's where the shutter speed is. But it's all the little things in between. How do you explain that to somebody?
I try and say, listen, you can be technically correct, but sometimes the most important thing is to be spiritually correct in terms of just being right place, right time, right vibes. And the technique, you can fix that. You know, we come from film where sometimes you have some really good labs behind us who can save a bad exposure, you know, print out a few problems that might be in the negative, you know. So we have the people behind us as well. But I feel like what I want, where I want the emphasis to lie, particularly in our photography, is the spiritual component, the way we engage with our subjects. And I think in your case, what's really quite intriguing is also the body paint, the way you actually physically manipulate your subjects. Tell me when that started.
So first point, you always give me a point on a point. So my first point is, I agree with you with the spirituality, but I guess where I would say is intention. Is what your intention is when you take that picture. Are you paparazzo and you just want to get a picture for money? Are you trying to honor your subject? You know, that kind of thing there. So that's one point. But I underline that. The tribe thing was a funny thing. So around, I guess, about 2016 times, I'd been homeless for a while, had to beg parents to go back and live at their yards. I remember finding a £20 note and thinking I'd won the lottery. And I finally got a little job, same job I have now actually. And I was starting to get on my feet. And I was like searching for something to, I don't know, just to be the artist I am, you know, like it was like fate was fate, it's just in my hands. So there was a set of 3 events that happened. The first one was that I used to live in a warehouse. There was a guy, he was a ceramicist. He had a studio at the top of the road. And he asked me one day, what are your influences? And I went Chappelle and Baptiste and Gregory Cruson and la, la, la. And he's like, he kissed it. A white man kissed his teeth at me. And he said to me, I don't care about none of that. What is your inspiration in the world? And that thought like ricocheted through my brain like a bullet. I didn't know what to tell him. Then I DJ, as you know, you DJ as well. As my friend would say, I was curating a playlist to play out, and a song came up that had a part of a speech by James Baldwin, 1962. The artist's struggle for his integrity is perhaps a metaphor for this cruel world. He goes on to say that the politicians can't do it, the trade unionists can't do it, the preachers can't do it, only the poets have the report, can give the report on life, what it is to love, what it is to hate, what it is to, you know. So then there was that kind of component. And then the final, I was at Afropunk when it was in London. It was out in London for 2 years, right? And a girl said to me, really sarcastically, oh, I knew you'd be here. You're always that guy who's got these things. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's my tribe. And that light bulb. But even in that moment, I didn't know how to show that. So I was asking a makeup artist, let me just do a little tribally thing. And she did, you know what they always do? ... And I was like, oh, low man.
Yeah.
She's like, if you don't like it, do it yourself. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
And again, the rest is kind of like history.
Absolutely. I think it's a really beautiful format. And obviously my natural inspiration for the painting of the body, the adornment, as it were, obviously goes deep into Africa, but really A Tribe Called Quest hit it on that Midnight Marauders album, you know? And to this day, it's almost like I've seen other photographers do homages to that particular cover as well in different ways. But every time they hit it differently, and every time it's a real appreciation of the form and the line, but also the capture is how you record that as well. And I think that's been quite beautiful in terms of the gifts that you give some of your subjects, in terms of giving them this new form that you're working on. And I find it really powerful to see you actually working and painting. And then it made me wonder about your journey, as you said, and you just explained it beautifully, your journey through art. What are your inspirations? And digging deep on that and responding to real life, which is very photographic, really, responding to the literal world with a metaphorical image.
To add to that, it's Fellas' Wives. And like that whole journey, like into like old school Afro tribal music. Do you get what I'm saying? It's Storm from the X-Men. It's Afro Samurai. It's the calf on a Sunday morning because you've been out raving all night.
Yeah.
And whatever that conversation leads to, do you see what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely a tribe, isn't it? It's definitely a tribe. And the raving culture as well. I mean, how you say your photography started in Scala. That was a rave, I take it.
Well, the thing about it is like, I've always been like in that club scene, you know, like I've covered like Twice as Nice, Text Me, Meant to Excel, Got Soul, like, you know, like those black events, do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I always say this thing as a joke, yeah? Nobody will give you more problems than a black girl in a club. And I say that, yes. And I say that to like demonstrate only one single thing, that a lot of the time, I think people have lost the understanding of how complicated photography is. Like, I understand it's just pushing a button, but the lead up to that pushing that button. So I have this thing I do in clubs, and I have to admit it's almost narcotic like. One shot, one kill, that's it. People get upset with me. You're not going to take another picture? What for? Oh, you didn't even pay no attention to the picture you took. Oh, look at this thing. Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And the club scene. Take pictures in darkness is not easy. Take pictures in daylight is piss easy. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But to get composite light, movement, that's a playground. A great playground, you know. Catch that wrong girl slipping, shaking the butt the wrong way. Yes.
Exactly. I mean, club photography is definitely something that I have been. It was one of the earliest forms of photography for me. And I think the first time I went into a club was probably '91, Peckham Laserdrome, and I went in there with a 70 to 210 zoom lens. And I soon worked out that that's not going to work out for me.
With that high ceiling.
With that high ceiling, you know it. It wasn't going to work out for me. I had a flash. I couldn't even sync the flash properly because I was 17 years old. But I knew there was something in here that was magical that needed to be recorded. Yeah. Very quickly, I managed to figure out that if I was going to get anywhere in this, I needed an autofocus. And so I bought the Canon EOS 10, which had the infrared beam that would shoot out, hit the subject, press the shutter, all faster than I could even process, because as you said, it's dark. You can feel something's happening, but you can't see it's happening. You just have to trust the camera to do its work. And so I had to confess that technology saved me in that regard. Them cameras of that era saved me, which is something I've noticed a few cameras, even in these day and times, can't do. So I'm going to ask, what was your process in the club?
So I'm a bit of a nerd anyway. So we used to open up them 550s and overclock the capacitors.
Right.
That was the first, yeah. So we were like, I have to admit, like, I didn't see that style in London before us. Like, there was a group of us who were doing it. So what we used to do, overclock your capacitor, run down, put it in manual. Yeah. I'm going to try not to be technical for the people who don't understand the technicality.
No, be technical. Be technical. This is not the passing by.
Yeah. So on the 550s, you used to overclock them. You have to be careful there. They wouldn't really last more than 18 months. But, you know, it doesn't matter. You just replace it. Overclock it. Then we used to turn up the flash. Like I started by making cards. So you know, I used to make soft boxes out of. You know, when you used to order business cards. Yeah. You used to get them in those clear plastic. Yeah. Used to always be getting them, cut them up, glue them together so they'd fit on top of. Now you can buy one on eBay, like meh. And then I started getting into vacuum molding, and I could get them made and all of that. But that was the first thing. So you overclock your flash. So you got your infrared beam for your focus, and then you just go bow and make it bounce off the ceiling. Yeah. Right. And what that does is it's super flattering to the girl's makeup. Yes. If you're looking sweaty, it just makes you look shine, like you're having a good time. And then we started doing. I kind of started when I started losing a certain set of people and gaining another set of people is when I started slowing down my shutter speed and just blurring it, just on that edge of blur. Like it's not blurred, but it's got a little bit of a movement on it. And then that was really funny because, especially maybe a certain set of promoters stopped hiring me. They're like, yeah, you fell off, bruv. And then a certain set of promoters started to hire me because, like that, we like that. That looks good. And then that's what kind of pulled me towards the house side of the scene.
Yeah. So, and tell me about your first, because for me, house was hard work for me. I hated it. Couldn't get my head around it. It's only until I think mid to late 90s where the French house scene started to touch me. And then out of that came DJ Gregory, which is for me the earliest example of a truly Afrobeat kind of disco style, but with that hardened bass lines on it. When did it happen for you? When did the transition from house to Afro house happen?
I don't even know, bro. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is this year, I had a cousin in America who took me to see Carl Craig.
Oh, Detroit, America.
Yeah, Carl Craig.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the swear word expletive is this? Oh my God. And then a little time went on, and like I've always been that guy in it. When everybody was listening to, I don't know, when everybody was listening to Garrett Jungle, I was listening to hip hop and neo soul. And when everybody caught up with the neo soul, it was like, what are you doing in this neo soul party? Let me find somewhere else to be. And then around 2012, just after I finished uni, like I heard this track, one single track, and it's a song called like "We Are Africa." We are the sons of Malachi, the great hunter. I was like, what the backside is this? and I've been on it ever since. And the thing is, I don't really keep because I'm a photographer, I can DJ as well and all of that, but I keep a low profile. So everybody knows me, but nobody knows my name. And I kind of keep it that way. Oh, you're the photographer. It's you. You took that picture. You're amazing. Yeah, cool. You're hyping now. Just hold it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a race. It's not like you won something. It's an everyday thing, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing to be. There's not the every day we're searching for a story that needs to be documented and put in context. I love that. I love that story, the We Are Africa thing, because this it's the power of house. I don't think it's actually been put into words. Like, I don't know how to.
I don't know. They've been trying. Like, I could play you a million tracks that are like, I don't know. There's something about. So let me tell you a little bit about the scene I'm on, right?
Yes.
So you must have heard about Black Coffee as a DJ.
Of course,
a very big DJ. And the more he moves towards the beef art, is the more the sound started to copy him.
Right.
Well, and the sound. So to be politically correct, the sound became less skippy.
Got it. Less
more
duff and less dance. Yeah.
Less tribal. Let's phrase it that way. And as a result of that, another subgenre emerged in the music called 3-step.
Okay.
That's what
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, and this is current. You know, this is real time. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know. And this is what we'll always do as a people. We have to dance. What's that Swahili statement? If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. I think that's the Swahili statement, right? And that's in us. Do you know what I mean? So anytime people of our hue approach music, photography, we can't help but speak to our ancestors.
Yeah.
Whether we know it or not, this is how we have been taught to flex, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what it is to me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story that is dear to my heart, but is one of those things. So about 2 years ago, I'm playing at Prince of Wales, and my friend told me the vibe in the club was just like electric, hairs on the neck. Yeah, the room upstairs, the man in there, he was firing too. Main room was firing, upstairs was firing. Like it was just the energy of the whole building was like like this. I dropped in a track, the crowd went, what? And the power just went pop. Blew the power in the building. And like, whether it was the actual fact that I blew the power in the building or I didn't, people always tell me, I saw you blow the power in the building. You know?
Yeah.
That's one of my most beautiful moments.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah. And the energy was there, the spirit was there, the house was there.
Intention.
The intention was there. That's a wonderful thing. I think it's a really important point you make about the ancestors, particularly as in this book, I sort of took the time to visit James Barner, the great sort of West African photographer, to hang out with Neil Kenlock, Brixton-based photographer, Charlie Phillips as well, local photographer, and engaging with that generation just to remind myself that, the road is long and we are mid-career, maybe puppies in the game, really, when you think about it, and how we need to sort of have some sort of context to what we do. I particularly enjoy the techniques that Charlie taught me. I particularly enjoyed the philosophy of James Barner, and with someone like Neil Kenlock, which again is quite interesting. As a photographer, 16, 17, 18, early formative years photographer in Brixton, his thing would be to sort of photograph for the Black British Panthers, document when the police would beat up on people so they could, litigate. But ultimately, he went on to set up Choice FM. So I don't think there's a disconnect to our relationship to music, to a certain extent, sport as well. Timing, rhythm. Yeah, it's all wrapped up somehow in the culture, our need to document that culture, and particularly in my case, my mother and her need to feel documented. That shot before she goes out to the club, when she's at the club, when she comes back from the club. And I'm not sure if that applies to your family as well, whether you're responsible.
My mum's hard work, man. I can't. Actually, funny enough, I was taking some pictures of my mummy yesterday, and like hard work. And like, what's funny to me when you say you're that was a great influence for you.
Yeah.
My mum influenced my photography in a different way, because my mum always used to say, "Oh no, you can't take a picture like that. You can't take a picture. I'm in my curlers. You can't take a picture of me now. You gotta wait until I'm dressed up." And I'm like, why? This is real life. And in my career, like, I've had that professional argument with clients, because the client's right in matters of taste. I'll acknowledge that. I'll make you right in everything, right? And I always feel like it's our duty, like, in a way, to like document people in a beautiful way.
Yeah. Not
in a processed way. Okay. Now, there is a difference. Now, as you aforementioned, yeah, we've got good labs behind us, and there's a space for Photoshop. There is a space for Photoshop, but like, I'm not a person who wants to lead in Photoshop. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather be taking pictures than editing pictures. You see what I mean? Yeah. So even when I went through that period of my time when I did the first book, and I did the art nude stuff, it was always very, this is you, this is what you are, this is warts and all, you know what I'm saying? And as an artist, I don't think I'm a person who likes to make things pretty.
Yeah.
But we're very much in a space lately where people like things to be pretty and polished and sharp and whatever, do you know what I mean? And I've been super resistant to that. I like the rough edges. It's the imperfections in people that make them perfect.
Yeah, I hear that. I definitely hear that. In fact, you just reminded me of something, really, because I think you did a shoot with Omar, and again, you didn't edit. So I got your files. I got all of your Omar files. I had to edit every single one, sort it out. Some great shots in there, absolutely, and that was a real joy for me. I really enjoyed going through your work, because you got really nuanced eye, and the way you approach the subject is really quite beautiful, and it's testament to the fact that the work is still being used to this day. But I had to say, when I saw the file come in, and it was a while ago, a good while ago, so it wasn't common back
video, I remember.
Yeah, it wasn't common back then to have like a 3 gigabyte raw files come your way going, rah, this man not even, what? He got Lightroom. And now you mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You do it all in camera and you leave it there. And yeah, but it is up to the client to also make some decisions. And obviously they couldn't make the decisions, so they passed it on to me. And I made the decisions because there are, obviously, there's nuance in the shot, but we know Omar, we know his brand, we know what he needed. The colors are great, the exposure was perfect, the setup was great, everything was just as it needed to be. It's just the question of choice was too much.
Well, I come from the club, innit? I come from moving quick shot, quick fast. So you trust your light meter, you trust yourself, and you keep it moving. Yeah. So, and I have been places. For example, I was at an event on last Saturday, And there's a whole ton of paparazzi boys there, and they got the quantum pack, Into the Flash, brand new R6, this, that, body chow. Like, you're going to war, brother. You're going to war. Is that what you did? You go to war. And I kid you not, because it's in my bag.
All day, every day.
All day, every day, blood. What do you mean? I had this one.
Right. Oh, that lens.
With 50 mil 1.2 USM.
Yeah.
Just sneaking up under them. Slap. Why is it? When I sent the pictures to the people, they posted them instantly. Where's these paparazzi man's pictures? Like, I want to see them.
Yeah, exactly. Where are they? Where are the paparazzi man's pictures? Yeah, unfortunately, they do it for the money. They don't do it for the love, and there's a difference.
There is a difference. And like, we all need to get paid. That's all good. Be paid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you said about spirituality. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you worship at the altar of money, you're never gonna be Helmut Newton, are you? Or Baptiste? You're never gonna be Basquiat, and you're never gonna be Keith Haring. Never.
No.
Like, this is why, if for me to do wedding pictures for you or anybody, right? I have to like you. I gotta like your husband. I gotta like your mum, because if I don't, that's gonna be problems. And I'm still gonna charge you $5,000 for the privilege.
Yeah.
So people don't really ask me that often to do weddings, but they still do. Because I remember who told me that. I can't remember who told me that. The quickest way to kill your career is to become a wedding photographer.
I can see that. I
don't know if it's true or it's not. I really rate them guys, but I ain't got the patience for that nonsense.
I rate a certain generation of wedding photographer, and this is the generation that would have a custom-made Hasselblad in gold-plated and leopard skin, or they would only drive to the event with a Jaguar. Their subjects, it was a performance. It was elegant. It was the suit he wore was more expensive than the entire wedding. That generation of photographer has been long gone. They'd always roll up in a Jaguar estate, and unpack the kit and have the softbox, and everyone knew like the school photography, where to stand and how to stand and straighten your back out, because this shot was the one. I'm not necessarily sure that happens anymore. I believe everyone has drones, and it gets a bit sort of TV, made for television, not made for cinema, if you know what I mean.
Hey, well, I think I know some good black photographer guys. Let me big up like Barrington and Richard Barr, Gary Carbon. Oh, let me rate them man there. Like me, I ain't got the patience for it. But like, here's the thing. I think I've always had the reputation as the maverick or the bohemian or the Peter. Like, I remember Carl Lake calling me Peter Pan. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do what I want, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And weddings is one of them spaces where the client got too much control over you. I am
Yeah, it's interesting. I do shoot Mendy's. That's my wedding thing of choice. The dance before the wedding is for me the thing that I really can bring my skills to the table. So if I ever have a chance to, definitely Indian weddings, I'm here for that. The Mendy's, I'm definitely here for that too. But beyond that, when it comes to the day itself, it's not my business. And as you said, but it reminded me of something else really. Printers. Do you print your own work, or do you have a printer?
I used to. I'm not one for. I'm still a techno nerd, bro. So I'm one for the dev and the scan. That's my thing, and then I'll print it separately at separate printers.
Absolutely.
I have my labs that I like.
Yes.
And I have my labs that I don't. But I think my friend will call me sensitive.
Yes.
But I'll give you a point in case. I went to buy a lens one time at Park, and the way the guy was chatting to me.
Yeah.
I'm not spending no money with you, bro. I just don't like the way. I just don't like your tone.
Yeah.
Now you want me to spend like £800, and I don't like your tone. You're mad. So all it will take for me, and you can call me petty, you can call me sensitive, whatever you want, right? All it will take is me to walk in, and you don't really just treat me like a customer. Yeah. Because of the skin tone or because I'm wearing tracksuit bottoms and a hoodie. Like, that's all it will take. And I'll be like, yeah, bun you.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person, I'll bring you money consistently. Sometimes I walk into the lab I use, and by the time the man's rung up the film, it's like £90 worth of development. Do you know what I mean? Easy. And I'll here's my card, flash it. No problem.
Yeah. I mean, I was only going to ask because I find it interesting. Like, if it comes to a printer, can you work with a printer that doesn't support the same football team as you?
I'm a bit metrosexual for football, bro. But I kind of get you because that's another tribe thing.
It's a tribe thing, isn't it? It's your blue or your red or your green.
Like, technically, I'm a gooner because I've always been one. So, and if you're talking some Man U nonsense, bro, I might have to.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to get anywhere. No, I always took it not necessarily from the position of the football or the gameplay. I always took it from the position of colours, because I swear most people only pick the teams they pick because they're 11 years old and they like the colour red. So what? Man U, Liverpool, Arsenal. You like the colour blue. Man City, Chelsea. And it's just one of those random things. Now, as far as I can tell, all my printers are all Arsenal people. All of them. And I'm talking about colour printers here. Black and white's a different story. But I don't know, it's a psychology, isn't it? It's like, here we are talking about photography, deep in photography, but there's a psychology to it all. And the conversation is leading me to the idea that it is tribal.
Oh, very much so. Very, like, have you ever been in the press pit at a fashion show?
Never. Tell me about it.
Bro, that's scary. And like, remember, I ain't taking no nonsense from no one. Do you get what I'm saying? Nobody's bullying me, bro. But like, I find myself having to defend the young. So what? You haven't got like a 300mm lens, brother? Who wants to spend like $6,000 on a 300mm lens? Are you mad? You come in there with your big kit, and now you're a big boy, and now somebody's just trying to learn how to. They just want. This is probably the first catwalk they even got access to, and you want to try to bully them out of the way. No, fam. It's like a pack of hyenas.
Yeah.
Have you heard, like, Fashion Week in Milano? Whoa. Like London? Whoa. New York, bro. New York are sparker, man. Really, don't. And I feel like it's that tribe, like, it's more or less, like, when the cannibals come knocking. And the paparazzos, I like the cannibals, yeah? And, like, then you got, like, maybe the more art house photographers, and maybe they're the guys who are, like, trying to, like, map the stars and invent purple. Do you know what I mean? And then there's another tribe, do you get what I'm saying? And then we got the analog guys, that's a different tribe altogether, do you know what I'm saying? Then you got the Sony man, the Nikon man. They are.
Yeah, those tribes. I'll keep forgetting. Yeah, because this is it. Let's talk about hold on, but Nikon film cameras are still bangers, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, there's nothing better. The FM2 is a war camera, like any right, but like okay, maybe it's the Canon in me.
Yeah.
But like on the fly, a Canon's amazing.
Yeah.
On the fly.
Yeah.
The Nikon will confuse your brain. Like, I'm like, this don't make no sense. Why is the aperture backwards to the shutter speed? Why are they opposite? Like, why is it? You turn the lens anti-clockwise to take it off, and clockwise to put it back in. That's obvious. No.
Oh my god!
And don't get me started on the Sony boys, because I love the technology. I appreciate the technology. Yeah.
Yes.
And I might get cancelled for this if the wrong person sees it.
Let's go.
But the Sony cams have made people with no talent think they have got some talent.
Yeah.
And then, like, it actually drives me nuts. I was in a venue recently, and this girl with a Sony cam was following me like she was my shadow, right? But after a while, the technology was letting her down because she just couldn't do what I could do. So she doesn't understand, you can shut a curtain your camera. You know what I mean? So I held my focus. You know, on the digitals, there's a button underneath it, right? So I've held my focus where it is. I've kept it on that thing. So the focus is held, and I've just gone straight across. So, but her Sony now is trying to focus, because she doesn't understand what I just did.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how you feel about this, yeah? The mirrorless thing is weird to me, yeah? Like why you'd want the screen on the back of your camera to show you what your camera's taking. No, don't get me wrong. I understand the logic.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like in the moment, don't make sense to me, because you have to. There's a 10-second delay. Let's count for it. You see something, 1, 2. You just say, "Oh, I'm gonna take that picture." 3, 4.
Yeah.
You press the button 5, 6. The camera decides 7, 8, and then the shutter goes down 9, 10.
Yeah.
That's a 10-second delay. Whereas I got that, I click, I got that. Bye. Let's go. Next shot.
Done. It was sometime in 2000, 2001. A crackhead sold me the D1X. It was like the most expensive Nikon camera of the generation, digital, all that shit. You got a 7 megabyte JPEG file with it. It's a horrible camera. The delay on it was the most frustrating thing I've ever experienced, because it was never where you wanted it.
Wanted it to be.
And that was enough to turn me off digital for life. And also the clients that came to me, because they heard that I had a digital quite early on in the game, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, I only got a digital. That means I don't have to pay film, right?" I said, "Yeah, you don't have to pay film." "Okay, cool. You're hired."
Dickhead.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, did I say that out loud? Sorry.
I see what you're doing. You're just cutting budgets now. You're just kind of reducing the sense of responsibility, and I see what's happening. So quite early on, I walked away from digital, and obviously it made me a Luddite, because everyone's going digital. I'm going back. But obviously it meant that over those years, and those years between 2000 and 2012, where the analog cameras were like, you find them in charity shops for next to nothing.
Cheapest chips, yeah. I kind of managed. I don't know how I managed to survive in both spaces. Mainly because I think that, like, I'd been like pro for like 10 years, and then I went back to uni.
Yeah.
Because I had this thing in my head that, like, I can't develop film, so I'm not a photographer. Now, that was just my own little personal flex, but that was what I was feeling. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I went through all of it: C41, ENC2, E6, liquid light. I was just in the darkroom hard. And even though I don't dev now, you can't tell me no nonsense. Right? And this is why I've got this thing about collecting film from all over the world. Like, I might have mentioned, like, I'm an ambassador for Analog Wonderland, that company. And, like, being in the ambassador group, different people. So, example, like, we're doing the photo walks tomorrow, and it's sponsored by Kodak. And they got Kodak Gold for everybody. Do you know how much I hate Kodak Gold? And like, the thing is, I raised that thing that in the 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, they got sued for their color bias. Like, look it up. There's articles in the New York Times, in Time magazine. They're around. They got sued, fam, because especially Kodak Gold does not flatter brown skin very well.
But I think even myself back then, you'd never shoot on Kodak. You shoot on Konica if you wanted brown skin to get it right. Konica was the film. Konica's always been the film. To this day, it's still the greatest film, as far as I'm concerned. And they were manufacturing film longer than. Yeah, they were manufacturing film longer than Kodak have. So
Yeah,
what
they
does
have.
that tell you?
They put out. I thought of you actually because I saw they put out 2 special editions. Like, let me look that up because all I do is I scout through the internet looking for new film. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I meant because I sent you a link about some other film we were discussing before that you wanted. So yeah, I'll make sure I do that for you. Now I'm gonna
Please.
argue with you.
Yeah.
About Conacher being the best film ever made.
Okay, let's go. I'm happy to hear this. Go on.
Yeah.
Go on. But I also want to know what your ultimate, like, if you walked into a shop and they had the fridge full of film, what you definitely go, oh my God.
Here's the joke thing. Yeah. The film I love the most they don't even sell it no more.
Of course. Drum roll, please. What is it?
A.Dot's Color Implosion.
Right. Never shot on that film. Now, obviously, I'm a huge fan of A.Doc's CMS 20. My favorite film.
Yeah.
Come on, great film. And that developer, A.Doc's 4. Amazing.
Yeah, it's super dope. Yeah. So imagine, like 10-year-old Portra has got that faded look, but you got to be careful how it was kept and all of that. Yeah, that's what Color Mission came out before people were just copying it like they are now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you got film stocks that like mimic that now, but we're talking ages ago. And the other thing, you can still get it, but it's expensive as hell. Is the Fuji Futura?
Oh, the Natura, the
Natura, which is beautiful.
Yeah. Say less. Yeah. But also, I felt I never shot NPH 400 as 35mm. It was like my go-to medium format film.
Okay.
I never shot it as 35mm. When I did, I was getting Natura vibes of it. I was like, okay.
Okay.
You see now.
So funny enough, the thing that I used to piss out at medium format, like its juice, was the black and white, which was the Neopan. I went through rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls of Neopan. I used to develop them 8, 9 at a time. Yeah,
and this is Neopan 400, isn't it? Or not even?
All of them. 100, 400, 1600, and if you can get it, which you really ever can, 32.
I've never seen the 32. Never in my life.
I've had two rolls.
Wow. The 3200 film that, to this day, medium format, Konica 3200 Super G. Mind blown.
I can't even. So let me ask you this, because, is it me or does the Ilford film stocks just reflect England, cold and grey? The Ilford film stocks, which is a British company, is it me or do they reflect England in that cold grey, BAFTA award-winning BBC drama at its best type of way?
Yes, they do. Almost kind of bland, a flat. The curve is just a straight line. HP5 is the worst of it, but it again, it's like HP5. When I was, we started off with HP5. We knew it was boring when we could afford exotic films, and we could get the Neopans, the Agfas, the nice Kodak Tri-X's. Then we could really grow with it, but we didn't feel like we could grow with Ilford. However, as the years have gone by and as I've been printing more, I can see why it's flat. Because it relies on you to get that fancy Czechoslovakian paper with that weird chemical to then cook that flatness and spice it up. Do you know what I mean?
And make it tonal, yeah?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Because Ilford is unseasoned. You know what I mean? It's just unseasoned. Even their seasoned film isn't seasoned. Like SFX. Come on, it's only the red filter that gives it its seasoning. And even then, if you stick a red filter on HP5, you kind of get a little bit closer to something exciting. Whereas the ultimate form of seasoned black and white film has to be CMS 20, because the film's one thing, but the developer combined gives you a level of quality and reproduction that is boxed in. And as you say, because I noticed where you are, you just want it baked into the film. You don't have to come back to it. You want the scan to just almost reflect all the vibes, because you made the choice of the film, you made the choice of the camera, and you've even gone as far as choose a certain lab because you know how their chemical components are. That's it. It's all baked in. I don't have to go and re-season it in the darkroom.
Do you know what that's like?
Yeah.
That's like grandma made you, I don't know, stew, fish and okra, and you dump ketchup all over it.
Yeah, but I feel like the Ilford film. I feel like the Ilford film is more like a breakfast, and you might need some brown sauce with it.
Oh no, fam! I judge people on their eggs, you know. I judge people harshly on their eggs, you know, bro. I don't know what to tell you there.
Yeah, eggs is there's a YouTube video that I really love watching. It's like 97 ways to cook an egg. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. Whether you fry it in sunflower oil or olive oil, two different types.
Listen,
yeah,
I'll judge you if you I told you about that whole cafe culture. If you take me to a cafe and it's rubbish, I'll never talk to you again.
Yeah.
You're not my people.
Yeah,
because you don't understand the difference. And this is what I mean in film, right? Do you know what I mean? And in photography, as a scope, you know, sometimes I get disheartened when I have conversations with individuals and they say things like, oh, this has got 120,000 megapixels and la 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 la, and this is the A camera, like this is the AI in the camera, and la 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 la, and what?
What are you going to do with that? What are those numbers going to do for you?
What, bruv?
Yeah, that's just mathematics. It's not chemistry or spirituality.
I don't care, blood.
Yeah.
This was this much. Yeah, bruv. This. I swear to God, I'll pick up these bodies for £20-30, bro.
Yeah.
At time, bruv. Go and test me.
Yeah.
Go on, I dare you. Well, you can test me because you're Eddie, but like, it's a Lauren Hill on that.
Yeah.
That's my truth.
Yeah, no, it's true. But also, I feel it sometimes comes from a place of insecurity. It's like, it reminds me of camera club photography, where their main concerns is the count, you know, is the numbers, it's the, you know, how sharp is it and all this stuff. And I mean, edge to edge sharpness has its place, but you know, also being able to push the eye to a certain spot in an image is part of your
visual narrative.
Yeah, it's part of your it's part of your narrative. I think is it Stieglitz? You know, that picture of the boat, and there's a bridge, and the immigrants are coming off the boat in New York, and it's an amazing picture, but it's out of focus. But it's out of focus deliberately. The picture's focused on the bridge, not on the subject, not on the thing before, and that's inbuilt. And I think that nuance is lost in the camera club world, where it is about numbers and buying at best the Leica.
I can't afford a Leica.
You can't afford. You sure about that? Are you sure you haven't been looking in the right shops? Do you want a Leica? Do you want to join the Leica bros? Do you want to turn up at Leica openings, not on a guest list, but your Leica gets you in the building?
I don't want a Leica. I want the contacts. I want my contacts, like an RS7, RTS, or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna buy a Leica, if I was gonna buy a Leica,
yes.
1953 to 1983.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I want a new Leica.
Okay.
And I want. The thing about it is, there's several expletives that can be used for individuals who carry Leicas. They're like German whip drivers. Yes,
straight up. Same dentists. Yeah.
I was more thinking like chartered accountants, but yeah.
yeah. Finance bros, not even. They're by Sony's to that guy because they own shares.
I'll tell you what story, right?
Yeah.
I know, because I'm anecdotal and quotey. That's how I express myself, right?
Yeah.
I was at a Black Lives Matter demonstration, right? And I had this baseball cap for ages, a Black Lives Matter baseball cap that I always used to wear, and the brim was folded up.
Yeah.
Well, some guy goes, I want to take that picture of you in that. Cool. And then he tried pull down my brim.
Oh. Oh.
Now, I've never known whether to tell him he was a for that.
Yeah.
Because who told you to touch my broom, bro?
Yeah, come on.
And this guy's a very well-known photographer. He shot some pretty big things and that. Fucking like a user. You can edit out my swearing, sorry.
No, I'm not. I didn't have any swearing, but yeah. A liker abuser, more like. Yeah, I mean, the liker bro thing is kind of, it's interesting. I've got a liker. I picked it up for 800 quid. It's the M5. I love the M5.
Yeah, but that's it. That's run and gun, man. That's more Robert Kappa than liker bros. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
None of them got M5. They got those M1s. They got the rangefinder.
Yeah.
And you're just so like, oh god. I've met a couple of them guys, you know.
Yeah.
And, and then, you know, when I start talking to them about film, right?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you know something, and then suddenly they give you your respect. By that time, they've lost mine.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think I got stopped by one of the liker bros. He's like looking at the M5. And I told him, you know, the light meter's broken, so I picked it up for 800 quid. And he just walked off as if that's some kind of insult. Like somehow I could operate a camera without a light meter built in. You know, I know, right? The pain. It's a pointlessness that really bears no relevance. But to be fair, what they're failing to really appreciate is that the rangefinder is the thing that makes it special. And pretty much most rangefinders have their own unique speciality to it. Even if it's the Rollei 35 or the Konica Hexar, they still the contact.
Well, I had that Mamiya 7. I love that. That stuff. Now, like, people don't think that's a run and gun camera, but that's a run and gun camera.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. Yes.
And now I've had that conversation with you. I think I might have to like pull that out of the Pelican case and let's go with that. Cause what?
Yeah.
But you know, I love people. One last point. I'll let you talk. But I gotta say, do you know why I love the Mamiya 7?
Go on. That's what I was
always catch. You can catch people slipping with it. Just slipping.
Yeah. And the medium format rangefinder is the Texan Leica is the way to go. And I think it's only fair that it's reflected in its accelerated price. It's gone from being that sideline camera to being the main attraction. The prices on my Mamiya 7s are ridiculous right now.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
It depends where you look.
Okay.
So anything coming out of Hong Kong is going to be expensive because it's coming out of Hong Kong. The weird thing is, if you're in Hong Kong, you're bound to find that for cheap money, right?
Yeah.
Because they're cheaper, they're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
There's still places you would find that in a bin somewhere. Like, oh no, nobody knows what that is. Because even though Google's is people's friend, people don't know. People don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? The thing is, like the price index. So let's go camera exchange. Like I got Nicholas camera up here. I'm in Camden, right?
Okay.
And every time I go into Nicholas camera, I think to myself, do you think I'm a boy? Because the way the prices he's giving me, I look at him, I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
All right. You can talk a good game, bro, but like I've been around the world twice. Like, who are you talking to? I call it the snappy snaps. I call it the snappy snaps. I don't know, principle. Because somebody will pay £20 for a roller film doesn't mean the film's worth £20.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Nicholas is a very special case in point. He's thrown me out of his shop many occasions just simply by going, "What? You sure?" And then that was enough for him to feel insulted and kick me out of his shop. The last time I was in there, I was asked to go to, I think it was Cleo Soul was performing across the road at XOYO. Yeah. And I thought I was invited there as a guest. When I got there, they were like, "Where's your camera?" I'm like, I run across the road to Nicholas and I had to buy myself a Minolta off him, which he sold me for
Dynax.
A Dynax. He told me a Dynax for £90.
What, 7 or 4?
Trust me, it's not even a good one. It's the one that I had to get the flash. I know, right? A Dynax is a £15 camera on eBay. I know. But 2 rolls of out-of-date Japanese film later, I got the shot. put in the invoice,
what the Konica?
and gifted it. Yeah. On some Konica. I was like, maybe it's the film that made the difference. But yeah, Nicholas is a special case in point. I mean, I think, you know, our podcast unfortunately has to come to an end quite soon. But there is something about spilling the tea on all the labs and shops, and, you know, from Mr. CAD all the way across to.
I ain't got nothing but love for Mr. CAD though. I'll be real with you.
Let me ask you something about Mr. CAD. How many times have you been in there to simply buy a roll of film and then you walked out with a darkroom and you're like, how?
Yeah,
what?
but this is why I got. That's what I told you. I got nothing but love for Mr. CAD, yeah. Because Mr. CAD, yeah, they're old boys, yeah, but they know. Yeah. They know. Like, he knows. Like as soon as you say maybe 2 words, he goes, all right. You're that guy. Like he's one of these people, yeah. He knows who he's dealing with.
Yeah, he really does. So, the last time he got me. Yeah, go on.
What did he get you for? I want to hear what you guys for. I don't know.
I walked in there and he sniffed me out straight away and goes, I got some Konica paper. And he starts telling me the story. How some hospital in Middlesbrough, he drove there, picked up all the paper out of the morgue or something like that. And then here it is. And he showed me boxes of Konica paper. And I'm like, who's got Konica paper in 2022? I bought all the paper he had. I took it to the darkroom. The paper's rubbish. But every time you just know, you can sniff you out. He knows where your weak spot is. The last time I went in there, I bought my Mia 330. Didn't work.
Wow,
went back the next day. And I exchanged it for a Rolly 35.
Okay. Well, I've never used the twin reflex Mia. I would be interested because it's a separate thing because I know we got to go soon. Yeah, it's a separate thing because like I got some boys. We're up in that 3D print thing. So like anybody got any broken cameras laying around that they're not mind donating to the cause? Hint, Eddie.
Okay.
Let a man know, yeah, because I'm trying maybe 3D print a medium format camera, see what we can do, make it get nice so that we got the mechanism and all of that.
Yeah. I think the 330 is the one for that because there's a few parts on it that do snap, and I've had them modified, but I had someone make them out of brass for me, just to make sure that the longevity of that. But I mean, listen, you mentioned the Minolta Dynax, easily one of the greatest cameras ever made, easily. Except
it's a great learner camera.
Yeah, great camera. The shutter speed, its capability is unbelievable. Except it's got one problem, which is a door hinge. As soon as that piece of plastic there breaks, the whole camera's dead.
Hold on, man. I'll 3D print you that in a second, bro.
Thank you. I've got 5 Dynaxes sitting around.
Yeah, all I need to do is scan it, and then we'll 3D print it.
Done. All right, cool.
Because you know who I was doing that for? One guy, yeah. Because you know it's the same with the door with the AE1.
Okay, exactly. Do you know
you can't find them nowhere?
No, and exactly. I do have a stash house. I do have a few hundred cameras that are irreparable. I've got you. Let's just have that's the next conversation we're having. Come down to Farringdon. Let's go through the stash house to see what we can bring back to life. But certainly, I've got well over 20 or 30 Dynax 9s that I would love to see come back into the game again. They're just too good.
What I'll do though, if you can get the door off it.
Yes.
Like a broken door off it.
Yeah.
And then post it to me. I can scan it and get it sorted. I will charge you though, motherfucker.
Oh, no, I've got no problem with that. We can bring life to these cameras, then suddenly we have a whole new business model to play with.
No problem. That's what I'm saying. That's like I said, I was talking to my mum, and my mum goes, how does a photographer make money? And I was like, it's true, you know, because I said, Mum, I understand what you're saying, yeah, because photographers in London, Paris, and New York are like cockroaches. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And like you kept in the film, and that was your diversity. I did the tribal thing, and I'm a bit of a techno nerd. Like, I guess half techno nerd, half, like, I don't know, cyberpunk. I don't know what I am. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just rolling in my lane. And that's why I appreciate you, Eddie, because, like, you do the same. And no, people try and knock you off. People can hate you. People can dislike you. People can badmouth you. But it's kind of like you're like a rolling rock. They just can't stop you. And I just wanted to like let you know we've talked about this and we've talked about that, but like I appreciate you for doing what you've done, and I feel like if you've been doing these podcasts and if nobody hasn't told you that, just keep on moving, bro. Because,
Yeah.
boy.
You know how it goes. Emerzy, I have to thank you for what is a lovely conversation. An hour's gone past in no time at all. I do want to leave. I really will leave you with a joke. I think the joke is this: the only time I ever made money in photography is when I sold my cameras.
Hey!
I'll leave it there.